It's Hot Topics that we're on, and we have another 24 minutes before we wind up. And in case you're joining us now, quick reintroduction of the panel. We have Quinta, Stevens, and Smita, basically going through some of the hot topics that have been going on. Now, one of the stories that was also making headlines, and this story, by the way, has very many twists, is one to do with the death at Safari Park. I see it highlighted in the Nairobian. My wife and son were lovers. Now, there are many twists to this because one, of course, which is a very, very unfortunate incident, is the police being trigger happy. Yes. There really was no threat for them to shoot. There was absolutely nothing that would warrant this lady to have died. But of course, the other twist to the story is the fact that apparently they found some garment on the floor, which, I mean, would tell us there was some activity that was going on in the car at City Park. Now, what I know about City Park is that there are very many monkeys there, so I don't, that is another twist. The other bad twist to the story, I'm just introducing here.
Mysterious monkeys.
Mysterious monkeys. Is the fact that this lady apparently was having an affair with her husband's nephew, which would make him her nephew-in-law, if there's such a word, which is why it's highlighted as the son. So, a number of things happening here. Quinta.
Yes.
It's the headline of the Nairobian.
The Nairobian, yes. Death at City Park, actually, not Safari Park. Well, like you have said, it's like we are doing we are part of an investigative series. The popular ones like CSI and, you know, yes, and we are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. The unfortunate thing is that a life has been lost. And Smita has a very nice, Smita described it beautifully.
Let me say it myself.
Yes.
I said, cops cannot go around shooting innocent adulterers.
Okay, let me carry on. I wanted it to come from the horse's mouth, yes.
Innocent what?
Innocent adulterers. Anyway. There are too many wrong things in this story. Yes. First of all, I'm a journalist, and I'm sure when I say that, you're going to ask me, how did you know? There's a lot of adults who like hanging around parks, you know, inside vehicles. And I think you're working on a story.
With tinted windows.
With tinted windows,
and of course, our assumption is that they're, you know, just enjoying the environment.
Yes, they're enjoying the environment. Yes,
the adults.
Yes,
the parks.
Yes, they hang out. I hear the adults like hanging out in parks, and we will unveil what they are up to. Yes, in a week or two.
When a man dies behind a tinted window, he lives behind a tinted window.
Not really.
Parks, because Nairobi
no. We are not saying you don't go to parks. You carry on with your business. Maybe you've already been snapped anyhow. But what I can say is, issues to do with relationships are very difficult. And I'm sure even the cops are having a hard time trying to figure out, you know, trying to finalize this investigation. Because we have a wife. This is this gentleman's second wife, by the way. Yes. And he has spoken elaborately.
Let me ask Steve a direct question at yourself.
Yes.
Yep. As you just go on about this thing.
Yes.
Well, you know,
what is so difficult, Steve?
Yes.
What is this, and Queen, because you've been covering this thing.
Tell me.
What's wrong with these Kenyans? Why are you in city parks, city mortuary? Sorry, cemetery. Why? That's why there are motels. People invest in motels. Like, you know, the one called I Was Never Here.
Yes.
Yeah? Why you find an MP or they're investing in shoddy?
Yes. I want to answer you, Smita. I want to answer you, Smita. I asked the same question, and this is not my answer. Somebody told me that sometimes people are just looking for adventure. Yes, the hotel is...
I have the same answer.
Yes.
You have the same answer. Your questions, right?
Yes.
Adventure. It's adventure.
But anyway, Mike.
So the police had an element to the adventure?
No. Actually, no. The police did not have an element to the investigation. If you read the story, the cops, they were just following. There was a scare. They were just on high alert. So anything that looked suspicious, I think that is what they are saying. They dealt with it.
That is their story.
That is their story.
So I can't moving like this. The police are thinking, you Arabs are making a bomb. The guy is going like this. Mike, and the police are like,
no.
Wanatengeneza bomb. Ndio gari inaenda hivi.
Smita, can you hold up?
Sure.
First of all, the story is in the Nairobi. So
Yes,
please do
exactly.
get yourself a
Yeah.
copy of the Nairobi,
Thank you,
because this
Mike.
guy is changing the story.
Yes.
The police did not shoot because the shock absorbers were being tested. That was not the reason. The reason was different. And apparently, for them, obviously, to have found garments on the floor of
Yes.
the vehicle,
Yes.
then there is something that the police possibly may have found. So get yourself a copy of the Nairobian and find out what
More details,
is
yes.
in this story. And also, there was an article in The Nation, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where the husband of this lady basically was saying that he was aware that there had been a relationship. He had warned her about it, but according to him, it's the Lord's doing.
And the Nairobian puts it very well, and that's where I am actually at this point. He says the relationship was not a secret. Nairobian, I'm reading, yeah? I even had, I'd even called them red-handed. I'd already told the mother-in-law, and the name is there, to warn her about her daughter. Even in the Bible, it's very clear about this. Relationship is wrong, blah, 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 all those things.
So you get yourself a copy of the Nairobian and just get the food.
One more point, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the Smithers and the men of this world, when you're marrying a second wife, you need to put a lot of things into consideration. Yes.
Are you suggesting Smita will marry us?
No, I'm just saying
Yeah,
the age factor. The age factor for me, you know, sometimes you might marry, you might aim too low for your age, and you cannot sustain. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying. No. This is just a by the way. This is a by the way.
Okay. We'll leave that way. And well,
No football date.
talking about aiming low. I don't know whether you guys saw. There's an article of a couple. This is now in the U.S. Or rather, parents who are suing their 30-year-old son because the guy has simply refused to move out of home.
Michael,
And just for the records, is any of you living with your parents right now?
Oh my God.
Just so that we are clear.
We are parents.
or maybe you are talking to Gaberone over your show.
She's going to tell us in just a bit. But your thoughts on that?
I saw the case on CNN. That's how big it's become. I think the guy is called Michael Radford.
Michael.
An embarrassment.
Yes. Yeah, it's called that. You have Michael Radford. And his own parents he's refused to get a job. He dropped out of college. He stays with his parents in the basement. And he's refused to move out. Kabisa, he's 30. He's refused to work. He's been asked to move. Now they've had to take him to court. And he was telling the judge, he was crying for the judge, saying that they have not given him enough time. You saw that.
To move out.
He will pick.
Yes.
30 years.
Yeah. He's been staying with them basically since he was born, and in the same bedroom. They moved him out.
For me, I honestly cannot understand how that happens. I have a 14-year-old who has already summoned me and asked me, Dad, when do you want me to move out?
Oh, boy.
He's 14.
Okay.
Half his age.
If
But
they
anyway,
lived with you, I don't want to move out to even at 7.
Smita,
I'll be like,
shut up.
Dad.
No, you've already talked enough. Stevens, your thoughts on this?
I was watching the
Can
interview
you get
and
him out? Security, get him out of the studio.
I remember one question was asked by the lady who was doing the interview on CNN, and she asked him, so do you plan to move out? So, of course, he's not moving out. Of course, he has to move out. Then he was asked, do you have a job? He said, no, I don't have a job. And he was asked, do you plan to have a job? Then he said, of course, it will take a little time. So he said, no time. At 30 years, you have no business.
Maybe another 30 years.
And by the way, Mike, but we have such people even down here.
Yes,
who
that
refuse
is
to move
my
from their
that is
mother's
my
house.
point.
And if you're living in your mother's house and you're 30,
Let me point you in that direction. There's a story we did, I think probably sometime last year, and Buruburu actually came on the spot. Like in Buruburu, it is very common to find mothers living with their children who are 40-something-year-old. In fact, they want their parents to move to Ushago so that they can
inherit them.
Yes.
I'm about to drop.
I don't know. Maybe
They
I
inherit.
have a friend called John. I won't name his other name. I don't want to embarrass him. But I promise, the estate we grew up in,
Which is?
they had a family tragedy. So when we went to condole, John says, let's go upstairs. And he's like, we sit there, and there's a Michael Jackson poster. It used to be there in 1991. John still lives.
It's very unfortunate.
In that bedroom.
In that bedroom.
Yes.
Well, let's
MJ
just say
poster from 1991. It has become black and white. No pun intended.
Maybe we need to have a look at, you know, like mental health of some people. Because, I mean, I really cannot understand it. But it could also be the fault of the parents. Because by the time the child is getting to that age, one could also be the economy and blame the government. Uhuru Kenyatta, you know, we have a tendency to blame somebody else.
Everybody else, yes.
Who knows? Anyway, let's